Can you hold that so I can read it? Exactly. So Paul, it's with great pleasure that we provide this resolution, and I'll read it. Whereas Paul Andre Lounibos, longtime member of the Petaluma Rotary Club, has contributed most extensively to the advancement of the organization and the improvement of the community in general, and in recognition thereof is deserving of the highest commendations and special honors. And whereas Paul, a native Californian, distinguished himself professionally as an accountant in practice in Petaluma for many years, and whereas long active in the Petaluma Rotary Club. As president, Paul's inspired leadership brought about a number of accomplishments, and whereas long active in the Petaluma Rotary Club, Paul served admirably as historian for many years, served as past president of at least one board of directors, and also served on the founding board of directors of the Rotary Club of Petaluma Foundation. And whereas Paul's contributions to the welfare and betterment of his community have been outstanding, and he has been served as a worthy model for all public-spirited citizens of the state. Therefore be it resolved by the Petaluma Rotary Club 2017-18 Board of Directors that we take great pleasure in honoring and commending Paul Andre Lounibos on his exemplary record of leadership in the Petaluma Rotary Club, applaud his outstanding display of professional and civic responsibility, and extend best wishes for success in his future endeavors. Board Resolution 2017-18. Congratulations, Paul. It's not over.
We attended St. Vincent's Elementary School together. I was closer in school to his brother Guy and his brother John. I was between them for years, and Paul a couple of years behind us. However, I want to talk about some dates. Paul and I both joined this Rotary Club in 1974. So as we look around the room, there aren't just too many. And it was very much a privilege of mine to be a member of the club since Paul has. Something that was mentioned earlier is our local foundation. Paul was the founding director June 23rd, 1983. He, Harold Mahoney, Art Agnew, to name a few, were the leading forces in putting together this wonderful asset that we have here in our club. We've grown to over $500,000 now, and we distribute about $25,000 each year to local charities and schools. And Paul was very, very instrumental in that over the years. I know the time that I had the privilege of serving as president, Paul was always there. They mentioned the historian. In fact, he kept us straight to the nonprofit organizations and the filing with the IRS when these changes came about. So, Paul, I want to thank you for all the contributions you made to our club, and please join me in thanking Paul for everything that he's done.
Thank you, Joanne. And our next speaker needs a little introduction. Our past president, Joanne Ferris, who, by the way, I want to give a huge round of applause before she gets up here for being the trickster for Paul. So congratulations. Great job.
Well, one thing Rotary can do is we certainly can get together and honor people that deserve to be honored. Actually, after working with Michelle and Rosemary and John Dado, I think we're going to work on invading some small countries next, because and if we invoke the name Paul Lounibos, people will do anything. I mean, I think we should change the super raffle to the Paul Lounibos raffle, because all you have to do is invoke that and just everybody gets excited. So let me talk a little bit about Paul Andre Lounibos. Now, At some point, we got to hear where the Andre came from. Your father was French. Oh, okay, that makes sense. All right. I just thought it was maybe, yeah, he liked to drink a lot, and maybe you were conceived over a bottle of Andre or something. And I followed that up in my notes. It says, you are the epitome of a gentleman, as we all know. Now, joining the Rotary Club of Petaluma can be intimidating. How many remember when you were brand new and everybody knew each other? They're all very cordial, there's all these inside jokes, and you come in and it's an intimidating group. They're leaders in the business community, they're well known, and you come in and they all know who you are and you have no idea who some of these people are. And one of the people that really helped with the transition in has always been Paul. He's always been polite. He always addressed us correctly. Many a time, if there was a meeting and you made an announcement or you were asked to talk, you would get a quiet, nice little email from Paul after, complimenting you or saying that was well done, which I truly appreciated. And as we all know, Paul is on the quiet side, and we've all heard the term still waters run deep, and that's very true with Paul. I remember back, it was about 2004, our club was still meeting at the Vets building down the hill, and we brought in, the program was a group of school children from McKinley School, where there had been some mentoring going on in the early days. And the teacher got up and gave a wonderful tribute to the mentoring that members of our club had provided. And she had brought several children with her. And there was one particular little boy that at the end, when they called up the members that had done the mentoring, this little boy went over and hugged Paul and would not let go of him because Paul had made a connection. Now, Paul has been involved in a wide array of Rotary causes, as John very well talked about here in our club. He's been a longtime member of the Rotary International Fellowship of Historians. Paul also attended a great deal of district events, district training seminars, and that's one of the reasons he was kind enough to step up and serve as my past president on my board in 2011 and 2012. Now, in terms of personality, Paul and I could not have been more opposite. I'm loud, I shoot from the hip, I'm ready, fire, aim, let's do this. And Paul actually thinks things through. Paul's numbers add up. Paul proofreads his emails before he sends them out, which was truly a huge benefit to me. But one of the things I'll treasure most about it, and I have in my notes, do not cry. As many of you know, my father was president of this club, and Paul did a great job of reminding me of that throughout you. Okay, so what you didn't know about Paul is he is quite the social media guy. In 2013, Nancy Cooley's year, it was our club's 90th anniversary. And so Paul and I were working on the gala, and Paul said we ought to do 90 days of Rotary on Facebook. And so he and I put together 90 days of facts and pictures. If you go to our Facebook page, you can find that album. But it's amazing what we have. And every day there would be a new fact and a new picture about one of the hallmark houses in Petaluma, probably belonged to Rotarian in the early years. And all that was put together because of Paul Zuckerberg Lounibos. Finally, many of the women today are wearing our red heart Rotary pins. And that was in commemoration of 25 years of women in Rotary back in 2012. And Paul's the one that ordered those and awarded those to all the women in Rotary. So Paul, so glad to have you here, and it's been fun to surprise you, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you, Joanne. That's great. Paul Zuckerberg Lounibos. I remember that. So our next speaker is Barbara Barney. Barbara, come on up. You've got a special alliance here with Paul.
the late 80s, Paul and I were at the same accounting firm here in Petaluma, and it wasn't Smith, Mormon, Dado, and McKinsey. And we were sitting around talking one day, as we do, over lunch and stuff, and I'd been telling him how I was a junior league dropout, and I was really kind of looking for an organization that was better aligned with what how I was raised, what I believed in. And Paul said those infamous words that we've all heard. You probably guess what they are. Have you ever heard about Rotary? And he brought me to a Rotary meeting, your club. That was again back at the vets, Art Agnew, Harold Mahoney, Victor DeCarly, and the whole thing. Now, because Paul was in this club, I joined Petaluma Valley in December of 1989. And thank you, Paul, because it is probably one of the best things, other than marrying my husband, one of the best of my children, one of the best things that's ever happened to me. Paul also served more, even though he wasn't official and I was in the other club, he was my mentor. When I had questions, he answered them. When I didn't know how things worked, he helped me. When past District Governor John Strong asked me to be his district treasurer, that was when I was district treasurer the first time. And I asked Paul, I said, well, what does a district treasurer do? And he thought a moment, and he said, I don't know. He was honest. So Paul, I really am so thrilled that Joanne let me know that this was going on today, because I really have you to thank for my career in Rotary, and I've really enjoyed knowing you all these years. Thank you.
Do you know what the district treasurer does now? Thank you very much, Barbara, appreciate that. Now I'd like to bring up a family member, and that's Paul's daughter, Rosemary Lounibos Van Lair. So Rosemary, come on up.
Trolling my Facebook page. I am honored and happy to share a few memories of what it was like growing up in the household of an exemplary Rotarian. My memories are of my dad's weekly meetings and him enjoying the fellowship of coming and sharing lunches with many of you. My memories are also of my dad sharing the Rotary Bulletin with me. Selections, sometimes written by him when he was particularly happy with a humorous piece that he created, but often sharing credit with other Rotary members that were writing. And through that, I learned a lot of what the club did. My dad is pretty humble, and it was always more about the club and the group causes. I didn't know really any of the things that you're sharing about his personal contributions. I remember his joy in hands-on sharing in opportunities to serve, like what you're doing today. I remember many years of my mom and dad taking gifts to underprivileged children. And I thought a lot about why my dad is an exemplary Rotarian and one of the many qualities that make him an amazing dad. And I'm going to share a story that he probably doesn't even remember, and many of you may wonder why I'm sharing it, because it seems insignificant on the surface. Many years ago, when I was a child, a young teen, my dad took me to see a movie at the Washington Square Cinema, which no longer exists. I don't remember what movie, but I do remember I was probably 13 or 14, and my dad walked up to pay, and the cashier told him, an amount of money that we both realized was for one regular admission and one child's admission. So of course, I'm ticked off that I still look like I'm 9 years old when I'm about 14, but I thought, wow, what the heck, Dad gets to save a couple bucks. This is great. But my dad said, no, no, it's 2 regular admissions and paid the full price. And as we walked away, I said, why did you do that? You could have saved some money. And he said, it wasn't the right thing to do. This was the right thing to do. And I'm sure he doesn't remember that, but I remember it. I still think of it often when I'm faced with decisions. And I think the amazing thing about my dad is that he does the right thing always. He does the right thing when no one is looking. But I was looking. The entire family was looking, and I think many of you probably have those Paul Lounibos moments too. So, thank you.
Thank you so much, that was beautiful. We have a couple of other presentations here. So thank you for the photos up on the Facebook page, Brad. So one of the most significant awards that people can receive with Rotary is the Paul Harris Fellow Pin. So in doing that, I'd like to ask Anita Pellegrini, past president Anita Pellegrini, to come up and bestow upon Anita, actually bestow upon Paul Harris.
Paul, we'd like to ask you to join us up here.
Paul, our president, Chris, and the Rotary Club of Petaluma are proud and pleased to be able to recognize you today for your many years of service, both to our club and international peace and understanding, by advancing you to the next level of Paul Harris Fellow. Today, Paul, we are presenting you with your Paul Harris +6 pin. That recognizes a combined contribution of $7,000 to Rotary International Foundation. Your Rotary Club knows how you feel about Paul Harris and the International Foundation. You have distinguished yourself as a multiple Paul Harris Fellow. Through your contribution, you have repeatedly gone above and beyond in doing good in the world. You will likely never meet the children, men and women who have benefited, but on their behalf, I offer a sincere thank you. Thank you, Paul, for using your time, talent, and treasure to enhance the lives of others. Your generosity means so much to so many. On their behalf, that of your club, the district, the foundation, we thank you. Your new multiple Paul Harris pin bears a single ruby stone to represent your contribution. Please wear this with pride in honor of all the lives that you have reached through your generosity. President Chris, fellow club members, please join me in a round of applause for a Paul Harris Fellow who continues to put service above self.
Thank you, Anita. Tony Western, I'd like you to come up. We have a very special gift for you, Paul. And Tony, I'd like you to come on up and give a little bit of background on this. And can I get a couple gentlemen to help bring that gift back out from the deck? That would really be helpful. And just keep the horses at bay there and clean up the food. So Tony Western.
Thank you, President Chris. I'll wait a second for our hired help to come in. But we'll just say that I know that, first, thank you, Paul. You were still here and attending regularly when I first joined, and I think I attended the fireside chat at the Onita's, and you were there as a mentor and helped me get the big picture of what Rotary is all about and your time and your experiences, and it's definitely appreciate that. So that being said, I know today you received some nice things, a very pretty pin and a lack, but we're talking something a little more concrete and something a little more useful that on a daily basis you might appreciate. So between myself and many other Rotary members here, we came up with a little something. Delivery will be included, by the way. I don't think it's going to fit in your trunk. But it's a little something from myself and the club as a whole to thank you for your time.
We'll see if it works in just a few. Thank you, Tony, thank you very much. Tony put that together. Royce Van Bever, that's Royce Van Bever Steel there at the bottom, so thank you.
Good afternoon, I'm Marie Gillespie. I'm Lynn Knudsen. I'm Kathy Rooney.
Ellen McKenna.
I'm Sue Fair. I'm Sue Oakes. I'm Chris Curtis. And I'm Sue Hall.
Well, welcome. Do you want to have some, how about, do you want to get some family in Mary Ann? Do you want to get over there? Yeah, come on up. Come on. The whole family, go over there. They want to sing to you. Yeah, we're surrounded, whatever.
Oh, what a time, what a warm and wondrous time, so sweet a shining moment in the sun. Oh, what a time, was there ever such a time, then suddenly it's done. The moment passes. Where does the time go? Must we let it end? Must it end? Where does the time go? Gone too soon, my friend. And where go the echoes of our music ringing the air? Oh, wherever the time goes, I will see you there. Where does the time go? Must we let it end? Must it end? Where does the time go? Gone too soon, my friend. And where go the echoes of our music ringing the air? Oh, wherever the time goes, I will see you there. I will see
Yeah, you wanted to talk about? Okay.
First of all, we're just so honored that we were asked to be here today, and we love singing to an audience, so it worked for both of us, hopefully. Hope you enjoyed it. We are part of the Pacific Empire Chorus, which is an award-winning chorus that is here in Petaluma. And our chorus has been in existence in Sonoma County for over 50 years. And this Saturday, I know it's very short notice, but if you like this music, this Saturday we're doing a jukebox holiday show at the First Presbyterian Church on B Street at 3 p.m. I have a couple of cards in the back that I will leave at the front desk if anyone is interested. You can either get tickets online or at the door. And then I know you have your own crab feed in February, but in January, on January 27th, we also have our annual crab feed at the Vets Hall. And at our crab feed, you get to hear our entire chorus, which is about 50 women. This is just 8 of us, but 50 women singing four-part barbershop harmony. And lots of food, all-you-can-eat crab, pasta, you know, all the usual stuff. So, and quartets besides singing. Oh yes, and some young gals, some high school gals who do four-part harmony also, their group will be singing. So again, we're just really grateful to be here today, and thank you for hopefully enjoying our music and allowing us to sing for you.
And we're going to be singing up there in just a few minutes as well, so thank you. So Joanne, you have some gifts that you wanted to present.
Just for Mary Ann, Rosemary, for Michelle. Enough of this guy over here. See our pictures after. Yeah, lots of pictures after.
So Paul, I know you wanted to say a couple remarks, so come on up before we do our closing. So I just wanted to say that you had something you would like to add.
Well, this may go on longer than 20.
You got 15 minutes.
This was originally part of the talk that I was going to give today, but fortunately, bitter heads prevailed. In January of 1985, when I was president of this club, I received a phone call at home one weekend from a lady named Rita Schroeder. Her husband was a Rotarian in Healdsburg. But Rita was not calling about Rotary exactly. She was also the Sonoma County Public Relations Chairperson for the Sonoma County Easter Seal Poster Child. I have to keep hydrated, so I have to stop drinking water. I had to give up the other stuff. Rita went on to say that she was looking for some attention for the Sonoma County, publicity rather, for this Sonoma County Easter Seal Poster Child. Her name was Liesl K. Magnuson, and I think Gail Carter worked with her father. She was born with an unusual defect called anterior horn cell syndrome, and it caused her legs to be crossed at the chest with her feet wrapped behind her head. And through a series of surgeries, physical therapy, and loving care, they had repositioned her legs. She had been using braces and crutches to learn to walk. And on March 6th, she was going to be 6 years old, and she was going to walk for the first time without the aid of artificial support. So when Rita was telling me all this, I thought, looking at my agenda, which every Rotary president carries around with him, gee, I have a lot of stuff going on that day. I don't know if I can do this. And then I remembered the National Society for Crippled Children, that are known as the Easter Society, was founded by a Rotarian. Moreover, the first donation from Rotary to the Crippled Children's Society came from Paul Harris, who was the founder of Rotary. So I thought to myself, how can I say no? So fast forward to March 6th, and we had a speaker of no renown. But we had a birthday cake for Liesl, and the crowd wanted her birthday. And then the moment came, and she was going to take your first steps without using crutches or an artificial support. I don't recall how long it took her to walk from where she was standing to me. I was crouched down with outstretched arms, waiting to receive her. But I will always remember this moment as I held that little girl in my arms. And as I listened to the crowd enthusiastically applaud her success. I offered a silent prayer of gratitude for the good works done by Rotary International in partnership with the National Easter Seal Society. Thank you.
Well, Paul, that's quite a tribute to you, and I just wanted to close with thanking all of the visiting Rotarians, all the fellow Rotarians, all of the guests, especially the family here. Thank you very much for being here to celebrate this wonderful tribute to a wonderful man. Joanne, thank you very much for all the organizing and sneaking up on Paul that you did. So Paul, I wanted to close by thanking you personally. When I was selected to be president, you were one of the first guys I called. And you have done a tremendous amount of work, and you're so passionate, and you're such a role model for many, many people. You have been a tremendous inspiration to me personally and professionally, and I can't thank you enough for everything you've done for all of us here at Rotary, Petaluma, Sonoma County, and all over the world. Thank you very much, Paul Lounibos.
Here we go. For he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, that nobody can deny.
Nobody can deny. For he's a jolly good fellow. He's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow, which nobody can deny. One more thing, could you please end the meeting? Oh, and they're going to be up there, right?
Right.
Okay.
Observing protocol. Is there any further business? This meeting is adjourned.
Hey, Paul!
One more Christmas song. Sing along. Join us. We wish you a Merry Christmas.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas, then a Happy New Year. The tidings we do for living in your King. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry